What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about some great American-made fixed blades, some that you may recognize and some that you may not have heard of. We're starting out with the ESEE4 in 1095 carbon steel. They also have a, I think, S35VN stainless steel version. We have the Gerber Strongarm, all popular, classic knife at this point. Probably most of you have heard of that if you're a knife person. If not, you'll I'm sure become very well acquainted with the Strongarm. We have the Benchmade fixed Adamas. We have the Buck Compadre, and we have the discontinued Spyderco Waterway in LC200N steel, which is basically rust proof. So we'll start off with talking about the ESEE4. I think ESEE is a criminally underrated brand. I think they are phenomenal. Their warranty is pretty much as good as it gets. They will not ask you a single question. You can do anything you want to their knives, and if it breaks, they will immediately send you a new one. Sheath comes with a nice little belt clip that you can install, but you don't have to use it, which I really appreciate. A lot of my knives, I like to just throw them in a backpack. I don't really carry fixed blades on a belt that much, so the option to take this on and off is great. I just leave it on because I kind of just throw it in the bag anyway, but most of my other fixed blades, I will take off the belt clip if at all possible. Similar to pocket clips. I don't know, I'm not really a clip guy, so that's not really my thing, but definitely working clip if you want it. It's got nice little snappiness to it, so there's that. The sheath is not Kydex. I think it's just a plasticky polymer. I don't know what they officially call it, but it's definitely not Kydex. It doesn't really rattle, maybe slightly, but like it's not bad, especially if it's in a backpack compared to some other ones. So decent sheath, nothing really crazy. It's not a bad sheath. Comes with this little like paracord thing that you can leave on or off. I don't know, I just leave it on there. The blade, I think, is Cerakoted. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I don't think they say on their website, but very durable coating, and the orange actually hides scratches really well. I picked out orange just because I like the color of it a lot. I like the textured like 3D scales that they have here. They also have some blockier scales like these custom ones on the fixed Adamas, but I like the kind of ones where they taper off a little bit. They're more contoured than their other blocky ones, so I don't know. I like this color. It's fine. Probably would get another one in a different color if I could go back and do it again, but I really like this knife. It has a little bit of weight to it when compared to the others, but that's just because the blade is so thick. And this knife is basically, again, it is about as durable as they come. We have the Strongarm here, so, you know, that kind of takes over everything else. But as far as any type of durability that you would ever need, the ESEE line, ESEE3, 4, 5, and a lot of their other knives are built extremely well. So you're not going to ever, hopefully, ever need to take advantage of the full range of durability and stress that these can hold up to, which is really cool. They have a little lanyard hole and pommel on the back. Never used it. I use this a lot for just chopping off branches of trees and stuff outside. I don't really use it inside for anything just because it's so thick. I don't really know. I'm not going to get this to cut boxes or cut rope or cut food with. So it is a great work knife for outdoor stuff. Great knife to have when you're outdoors, hiking, camping, doing things like that. But again, I think ESEE is just so underrated because they only really make fixed blades, and they make boring fixed blades, but they make fixed blades that are boring, that are extremely high quality. So check them out if you're looking for just a dependable, boring fixed blade. They're awesome. Customer service is awesome too. So check out ESEE4. The 3 is a little bit smaller. Probably should leave these out of the sheet. The 3 is a little bit smaller. The 5 is a little bit longer. They also have the 6. They have a bunch of other models. The Laser Strike is another great one of their models. I think that's in this size range too. So check them out. I'll link all those below just so you can kind of shop around and look at them. It's kind of hard to tell the sizes online, but you can get a feel for it compared to this one when I put it up against all these guys. So just keep in mind, again, they have boring names, generally ESEE4. So, but take a look at them. They're great knives. Next up, we have the famous Gerber Strongarm with its rubberized textured grip and 420 HC steel. This is one of the most famous fixed blades amongst the knife community. The Buck 119 is also super famous, but the Gerber Strongarm has slowly started to kind of achieve that status of recognizability amongst everybody. This knife is indestructible. There's a guy named Joe X on YouTube and he actually did pull-ups with this knife. And he does all kinds of crazy testing to knives, all kinds of stuff that you should never, ever need to do with a knife, but he does it just to prove that they are durable. And he stabbed this through a car, did pull-ups from it, threw it at concrete. I think he chopped bricks with it. And the only way that he was able to break it was by repeatedly swinging it at a steel pipe, which is pretty cool. So I've never seen any other knife hold up to that level of testing. He's got a lot of other videos out there that probably there are some that, you know, can handle things like that, but this is a sub $100 American made knife that can do that. So very, very cool. If I were you, I would absolutely consider getting a Strongarm. If not, they make great gifts. Pretty comfortable in the hand. The rubberized texture doesn't really absorb a lot of the shock that well if you're swinging it hard stuff or trying to like chop wood. So your hand will absorb a lot of that shock. So it's not the most comfortable, but full tang. So again, that's why it's vibrating all throughout your hand and making it a little bit uncomfortable when you're doing stuff like that. But full tang, you have the glass breaker / pommel / lanyard hole at the end here. You can't see the full tang, but it does go all the way through the knife. A lot of people have tried to cut them open or shoot the handle to break it open and see, and it really is a full tang. So always what you want in a fixed blade. Never get a fixed blade that's not a full tang unless you're not paying a whole lot for it. But the Strongarm is a phenomenal knife. The sheath has lots of mounting options, lots of modularity. I don't have any of them on here. I just have the plain Jane. I took all the stuff off, all the attachments. There's a scout carry attachment. There's just vertical carry. There's a little thing with the back with the strap, kind of like the Compadre sheath. It like snaps around the blade handle. I don't really like any of that. I just like to have the knife covered up, and you know, that's all I really need. I just throw this in the backpack and it works. I kind of wish that they didn't have all this junk on there and it was just a plain sheath, but it is what it is. I'm sure there are aftermarket sheaths out there just because this is such a popular knife. But the Strongarm is one of my favorite knives. It's probably my hardest used knife out of my entire knife collection and every single knife that I own. I've never beat up a knife quite as much as a Strongarm just because I know that it can take it. I mean, there's a near zero chance that I ever break this thing. So I'm not worried about that at all. There are some chips on the edge that maybe you can see if the camera focuses, maybe not, but I'm trying to buff them out. This is a pretty easy knife to sharpen, again, just because it's thick and it's, you know, you can pretty much hold an angle easily on it. And as you see, it takes a really nice edge. There's a nice shininess to that. Very sharp, but 420 HC steel is not really loved amongst the knife community. So you'll probably get a lot of hate. I'll getting a lot of people saying that's ridiculous that they're charging 80, 90 bucks for 420 HC, but Gerber is the epitome of why heat treat matters. This knife is heat treated almost to perfection, and that's what makes it so indestructible. So don't write the budget steel off just because it is looked down upon by a lot of people. It is a phenomenal knife and it's definitely worth checking out. Next up, kind of the opposite of that, we have a really expensive knife and a really expensive steel. We have the Benchmade fixed Adamas in Crewwear steel. Another extremely tough, durable, tactical looking knife. I have custom scales on here, TP grips, check them out. I think they're on YouTube, and I think there's a website. It's this dude Tony who makes them, and they are awesome. It really, really adds a lot to the knife. However, it just normally comes as a skeletonized version of the knife that has a paracord wrap. So you have to wrap the paracord on yourself, which some people find annoying. I don't really care. I wrapped it on. It's pretty easy. Benchmade has a video detailing how to do it. It's kind of cool. But I ended up getting scales because I love this knife so much. The sheath is really the only downside. There's nothing really too exciting about the sheath. It's just a plastic sheath. It's got good retention to it. I think it's technically supposed to be like an adjustable retention with this little screw here. I've never really played around with that. I tried to, and it didn't seem to do much. But technically it is an adjustable retention. It also comes with molly clips that I really have no use for because I don't want to mount it on the outside of my backpack. I'd rather throw it in versus risk having it on the back. So it is what it is. Nice to have that come with it. It also has this little strap that you can strap it in that'll really eliminate any rattling whatsoever. So kind of nice feature, very easy to take out, but it has great retention. So It is what it is, nothing super exciting, similar to the ESEE, just a generic plastic sheath. I think there are also custom Kydex sheaths on the aftermarket for this. This is a really popular knife, so there are a lot of aftermarket modifications such as these scales for it, but might be worth looking into if you own an Adamas or you're looking at getting one. This is ridiculously priced at about $250. Would I ever pay that for this knife? Absolutely not. I don't, like I've mentioned before numerous times, I don't pay full price for really any Benchmade that I buy. When I first started buying them, I did because I didn't know better, and now I know there are sales. It's not that hard to find deals. So again, I'm gonna link all these below. There's a thing on Twitter that I have called Knife Deals. It's a community, you just join it. All you gotta do is join it and it'll just start spitting out knife deals. I kind of post them as I see them. So I'll start adding a bunch to there, and you can find Benchmades, whether it's the fixed Adamas that you want or not, much cheaper. Please don't pay full price for Benchmade. I'm begging you, please. It's just not worth it. You're just wasting money. There's no reason to do that. So just pay attention, be patient, and shop around. And you won't have to pay the ridiculously inflated prices for these knives. Moving on, we have the Buck Compadre camp knife. Pretty lesser known knife. However, I think Buck gets written off a lot because they're just known as the old school brand that doesn't really do a lot of modern stuff. I actually really like Buck as a brand. I've had nothing but a positive experience with a lot of their knives, and the Compadre is no exception to that. It has awesome, beefy micarta scales that are really, really soft when you're not wearing gloves, but also when you're wearing gloves, your hand just kind of takes it up really nice. It's got a really nice feel to it. Finger guard, but not too aggressive like the fixed Adamas. It's a little bit different. It's got a recurve blade, which is kind of cool. You don't see that a whole lot. It's a very slight recurve right there, you can see. So some people might be put off a little bit by that. It might make it a little bit harder to sharpen, but I really like it. It holds an edge really nice. This is 5160 spring steel. So it's again, a kind of a weird steel, but it's got Buck's heat treat on it from Paul Boss, which is, again, awesome. Much like the Strongarm, Buck does a phenomenal job with their heat treats on all their knives, and that's how they can get away with using 420 HC on some of their, again, like the 110 Folding Hunter, the 119 Special, and all the other knives that they just use that budget steel on that people hate. So that's a reason that most people just immediately write off Buck, because it doesn't have their fancy, cool steel on it. But 5160 has held up quite nice. There is some wear on the coating. I think this is a Cerakote blade coating, but there is some wear that, I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but there's a little bit of discoloration towards the front here where I'm just like digging into stuff and piercing things with it. So you can kind of see that towards the end. There you go, it's showing up on the camera. But overall, the coating is held up quite well. I really, really, really like the handle again. I think it's great. This sheath is pretty awesome. I love leather stuff, leather sheaths. I also like wood stuff, wood handles, wood shotgun stocks, and things like that. I think it's just a cool look, and I appreciate that more than just the generic plastic or polymer. Is it as functional as the plastic or polymer? Probably not, but it's leather, so it looks cool. Most of Buck's leather sheaths are imported from Mexico. This one, however, is made in America. So this knife is 100% made in America, which is not all Buck knives. So another cool feature of that. Also, this has a hollow grind, which means that the blade kind of has I think it's convex grind pattern into it. So it'll slice through stuff a lot easier. However, you are sacrificing some of your toughness and durability, such as just a flat grind, generic flat or saber grind on the ESEE4 or some of these other knives, because you're losing a little bit of meat to the actual knife. So that's just something to pay attention to. Maybe don't be prying or doing too much crazy stuff with this knife. Again, most of the time you're probably gonna be fine, but that is something to pay attention to. This is more for just all around tasks versus your tactical, bomb-proof, destroy everything kind of knife. So that doesn't mean it's a bad knife at all. It's just maybe not as, not designed for the same things as some of these other ones. Finally, one of my newer knives. This is the discontinued Spyderco Waterway. These are only able to be found at a couple places. I know Knives Ship Free has some. I know Optics Planet has some. And there might be a few other websites, but those are just the ones off the top of my head because I know I was looking for this. This is essentially a rust-proof knife. It has Spyderco LC200N steel on the blade. And that is Spyderco's salt series. That's what it uses. So you could leave this in water, you could leave it sit out overnight, and it's not going to rust. It's again 99% rust proof, which is really, really cool. It's designed by this guy. I think his name's Lance Clifford, who is a kayaker. I cannot get the camera to focus on this because of the light. But he was like an outdoorsman, kayak type person who wanted a knife that he could just leave in his kayak all the time. So they designed this knife. It's called the Waterway. And I think it was released like years and years ago, and they just recently discontinued it like a year or two ago. But you can still, again, find them. I really like this thing. I just got it. It's really thin compared to a lot of these other ones. You can kind of see just the difference there. So it's not going to be kind of that outdoor, like, again, just bushcraft tactical knife that you can pry stuff with, but it was really, really good at cutting food with. I've cut a lot of food with it. It comes with this nice sheath. Again, I think you can take this off. I haven't even bothered to try and take it off yet, but this nice belt clip. As always, Spyderco just doing everything right. They have a bolter-on sheath that has fantastic retention. No rattle at all. If I hold the sheath, no, absolutely no rattle. So this is a really, really nice knife. Came perfect from the factory, as always. Great edge to it. And it sits right around that $150, $160 mark. So a little bit pricier than some of these other ones. Again, I will go through it again. The ESEE4 is going to be anywhere from 120 to 140, depending on the steel, color, and such. Gerber Strongarm, 80 or 90 bucks. Benchmade, fixed Adamas, about 250, 240, 250. The Buck Compadre, I think, is 110 to 120, and the Spyderco Waterway is in that $150 range. So we kind of have a variety of ranges and price here. Some different uses, but all generally like the same size, all American made, all great companies, all great knives, just kind of some for different uses than others. But really, really, really have enjoyed using all these. Again, pretty new to the Waterway still, but I really like the look of it. I like the idea that it's an American made fixed blade from Spyderco, from the Golden, Colorado factory. But that probably should do it with all these. Let me know if you have any questions regarding these or looking for any other great fixed blades. Just another one that I'll throw in that I really like is the the Cold Steel SRK. I think it's made in Taiwan, like 30 bucks. Still a great knife, but I just leave it in a bag and kind of don't really ever use it, because it has a little bit of a cheaper feel to it. And it's, again, I try to stick to American made, but I'm not going to discount. Cold Steel makes a great knife in the SRK. So check that out too if you're shopping around for something a lot cheaper. I really like all these. Again, I cannot reiterate that. I'm not going to recommend stuff to you guys that I don't like or actively use. I think that's kind of stupid. I don't know why I would do that. But again, most people will vouch for me when I say the ESEE4 is a phenomenal knife. The Gerber Strongarm is a phenomenal knife. People get mad about the steel on that. The fixed Adamas, people are going to say it's way too expensive, which it is, but that doesn't mean that's not a great knife. And a lot of people have not heard about the Compadre and Waterway. So I think those are worth checking out, especially if you're an experienced knife guy and you haven't heard of those. So that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Again, do not pay full price for Benchmade knives. I'm going to reiterate that. Check out the Knife Deals community on X or Twitter. I will link that below. I'll put all these down in the description with links to them. Buy them if you want. I don't care. I'm not affected by it either way. I'm just trying to help you, trying to make the shopping experience easier and trying to help save you some money. So most of these you can find on sale, but you know, if you're impatient, just go ahead and pay full price, but there really is no need to. But thanks for watching. Thanks to those of you who have subscribed. I really, really, really appreciate it. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or whatever it may be. And again, just thanks for the support and thanks for watching.